What do you do when you're trying to make a video about Creative Commons material? Well, when I was initially thinking of what I'd do for this video, it seemed like an obvious thing that I would grab a lot of Creative Commons material, some images from Flickr or Wikimedia Commons, some music from SoundCloud, maybe even some Creative Commons licensed footage from YouTube. And I'd put it together in a way that what I was saying would match the visual images. But then I started to think, I wonder how many people actually understood how I made the last video. So what I'm going to do here as I talk for a few minutes is show you again some footage that you've seen recently. Unless you were looking closely at the rolling credits at the end of the film or the description box on YouTube, you may not have known exactly what I was doing. I'm sure you knew that I wasn't always using my own images, but I found that very few students over the years who I've talked to know what Creative Commons is. When I make videos and other media, I mostly like to use my own content to create stuff from scratch. But Creative Commons licensed material is a really handy way to complement that kind of strategy. When I search for Creative Commons material, I very rarely know exactly what I want. Usually I just think of a keyword that sort of fits the emotion that I want to convey or the broad theme that I'm discussing. And then I look through all those results and I find what stuff has the kind of license that I'm looking for, and I'm usually looking for an attribution license because that simplifies things, but there are other options. I don't want to go into the details of licenses in this video, but make sure you look that up and read up on it in the other materials provided. And it's quite often the specific stuff that I find that I haven't necessarily been expecting, which actually impacts on the meanings that I was trying to convey in the first place. It's a really interesting process to expose yourself to. Obviously, when people have generously provided their content online in this way, it's really important to give them due credit, so make sure you understand how to acknowledge the source material. When you're making a video, it's important to acknowledge the source within the video itself, and the end credits is a good place to do this. This is important because if you embed the video in a blog post, people might see it there and not necessarily go to your YouTube channel to get the full details. But it's also really important in the description box on the YouTube channel to give the references there, because you can provide the active hyperlinks back to the original source. And as you can see when I use Creative Commons in my SoundCloud uploads, I also acknowledge the source in the same way there. Well, I'm going to keep this video really short because what I really want you to do is spend as much time as possible practicing using this Creative Commons alongside the making of your own media content. It's so important to get your head around, and you'll only really be able to do that by putting it into practice. It'll become almost second nature how to acknowledge these sources once you start to do it enough, and you'll find it surprisingly easy and very fast to find amazing content that can enhance your own media productivity. Well, that was pretty short. Whoever said the last level had to be the hardest?